In the beginning, when the universe was nothing more than swirling chaos and endless void, there existed forces so ancient and powerful that they shaped the very foundations of reality itself. Tonight, we embark on a journey through one of the most enchanting and mysterious realms of Greek mythology, where dreams and sleep intertwine to create a tapestry of wonder that has captivated humanity for thousands of years. This is the complete story of Morpheus, the master of dreams, whose influence extends far beyond the simple act of closing your eyes and drifting into slumber. Before we can truly understand the magnificent being known as Morpheus, we must first explore the primordial forces that gave birth to his existence. In those earliest moments of creation, when darkness held dominion over all things, there emerged from the cosmic abyss a deity whose power would become fundamental to every living creature's daily experience. This was Nyx, the primordial goddess of night, whose very essence embodied the profound mysteries of darkness and the transition between consciousness and the unknown realms that lie beyond waking awareness. Nyx possessed a beauty that transcended mortal comprehension, cloaked in veils of star-spangled darkness that stretched across the heavens like an infinite tapestry woven from the fabric of eternity itself. Her form was both magnificent and terrifying, tall beyond human measurement, with eyes that held the depth of eternal night, and skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Even Zeus, who would eventually become the king of all gods, maintained profound respect and fear for her authority, never daring to challenge her will directly or interfere with the sacred domains she governed with absolute sovereignty. From the union of Nyx with Erebus, the personification of primordial darkness, came forth a lineage of divine beings whose influence would shape the experience of every mortal soul throughout history. Among their most significant offspring were the twin brothers Hypnos and Thanatos, whose domains would become inextricably linked to the human condition in ways both comforting and inevitable. Hypnos embodied the gentle embrace of sleep, while his brother Thanatos represented the final rest of death, creating a duality that reflected the cyclical nature of existence itself. Hypnos manifested as a figure of serene beauty, bearing wings that carried him silently through the realms of night to visit mortals and gods alike with the gift of peaceful slumber. His appearance was designed to inspire comfort rather than fear, with soft features that suggested the gentle transition from wakefulness to dreams. Unlike his more austere brother, Hypnos possessed a warmth that made his presence welcomed by those who encountered him during their most vulnerable moments of rest and recovery. The dwelling place of Hypnos existed in a realm that bordered the very edge of the known world, where day and night met in eternal twilight. This mysterious domain was located near the entrance to the underworld, in a cave that extended deep into the earth's hidden chambers. The cave's entrance was surrounded by poppies and other sleep-inducing plants that released their somnolent fragrances into the still air, creating an atmosphere of perpetual drowsiness that affected all who approached this sacred threshold. Within this cave flowed the river Lethe, whose waters possessed the remarkable property of erasing memories and bringing forgetfulness to those who drank from its mysterious currents. The gentle sound of these waters created a constant soothing murmur that served as the perfect backdrop for the profound rest that characterized this divine realm. No sunlight ever penetrated these depths, nor did the harsh sounds of the waking world disturb the perfect tranquility that Hypnos had established as his eternal sanctuary. The architecture of Hypnos's realm reflected his divine nature and responsibilities. The cave's interior featured chambers carved from smooth stone that seemed to pulse with their own inner warmth, creating spaces that invited rest and contemplation. Beds crafted from the softest materials known to divine craftsmanship lined these chambers, each one perfectly suited to provide comfort for beings ranging from exhausted mortals to weary gods who sought respite from their cosmic responsibilities. But Hypnos did not rule this realm alone. He shared his domain with a multitude of beings who assisted him in his sacred duties, each contributing their unique abilities to the complex process of bringing sleep and dreams to the world. Among these divine servants were the Oneiroi, the personifications of dreams themselves, who would venture forth each night to visit sleeping mortals and deliver the visions that would shape their unconscious experiences. The Oneiroi were not merely abstract concepts, but fully realized divine beings with distinct personalities and specialized functions within the hierarchy of sleep and dreams. They possessed the ability to take any form necessary to fulfill their duties, shifting shapes as easily as thoughts shift through the mind of a dreamer. Their power extended beyond simple illusion, encompassing the ability to influence emotions, convey messages, and even provide glimpses of future events through the symbolic language of dreams. Among the Oneiroi, 3 brothers stood out as the most powerful and influential, each governing a specific aspect of the dream experience that mortals would encounter during their nightly journeys into the realm of sleep. These 3 divine siblings would work in concert to create the full spectrum of dream experiences, from the most mundane reflections of daily life to the most profound visions that could alter the course of human destiny. The first of these brothers was Oneiroi, whose name meant dream in its most literal sense. He specialized in creating dreams that featured human figures, appearing to sleeping mortals in the forms of people they knew or had encountered during their waking hours. His ability to perfectly mimic human appearance and behavior made him invaluable for delivering messages that needed to be communicated through familiar and trusted faces, ensuring that the dreamer would be more likely to accept and remember the visions he provided. The second brother was Phobator, whose domain encompassed the wilder and more chaotic aspects of the dream world. He possessed the unique ability to transform himself into any animal, monster, or inanimate object, creating dreams filled with creatures and scenarios that could inspire fear, wonder, or profound symbolic meaning. His transformative powers were particularly valued when dreams needed to convey complex, metaphorical messages that could not be expressed through simple human interaction. But it was the third brother who would achieve the greatest fame and reverence among both mortals and immortals alike. This was Morpheus, whose name derived from the Greek word for form or shape, reflecting his supreme mastery over the art of transformation and illusion. While his brothers specialized in specific types of dream imagery, Morpheus possessed the remarkable ability to assume any human form with perfect accuracy, making him the most versatile and powerful of all the Oneiroi. Morpheus's unique talents extended far beyond simple shape-shifting. He possessed an intuitive understanding of human psychology and emotion that allowed him to craft dream experiences with unprecedented precision and impact. He could read the deepest desires, fears, and needs of sleeping mortals, tailoring his appearances to provide exactly the type of vision that would be most meaningful and influential for each individual dreamer. The physical appearance of Morpheus in his true form was said to be hauntingly beautiful, combining the ethereal quality of divine beings with an accessibility that made him less intimidating than many other gods. His features were perfectly proportioned and seemingly ageless, with eyes that held depths reflecting all the dreams he had ever created and witnessed. His hair flowed like liquid shadow, and his skin possessed the pale luminescence characteristic of beings who dwelt in the twilight realms between day and night. When Morpheus chose to manifest his wings, they appeared as gossamer appendages that seemed to be woven from the very fabric of dreams themselves. These wings allowed him to travel at incredible speeds between the realm of sleep and the waking world, moving silently through the night to visit those who required his particular form of divine intervention. The sound of his wings was said to be softer than the whisper of wind through leaves, ensuring that his arrival would not disturb the delicate state of sleep he had come to enhance. The responsibilities of Morpheus extended far beyond the simple delivery of random dream imagery. He served as a divine messenger, often carrying communications from gods to mortals through the medium of carefully crafted dream visions. These messages required exceptional skill to convey accurately, as the symbolic language of dreams could easily be misinterpreted by those who lacked the proper understanding of their deeper meanings. Kings and rulers throughout the ancient world would often seek to gain favor with Morpheus, understanding that prophetic dreams could provide crucial guidance for important decisions affecting entire kingdoms. The god's ability to provide glimpses of possible futures made him an invaluable ally for those who possessed the wisdom to interpret his visions correctly and act upon the knowledge they contained. But Morpheus did not limit his attention to the powerful and influential members of society. He recognized that every human being, regardless of their station in life, deserved access to the restorative power of meaningful dreams. Farmers worried about their crops, mothers concerned for their children, and artisans seeking inspiration for their work could all potentially receive visits from the master of dreams when their needs were genuine and their hearts were open to divine guidance. The process by which Morpheus selected the recipients of his dream visits involved complex considerations that reflected his deep understanding of human nature and cosmic justice. He would observe the daily lives of mortals, noting their struggles, their virtues, and their potential for growth or transformation. Those who demonstrated kindness, courage, or wisdom in their waking lives were more likely to receive beneficial dreams, while those who harbored malicious intentions might find their sleep disturbed by visions designed to encourage reflection and moral improvement. The techniques employed by Morpheus to create his dream visions represented the pinnacle of divine artistry and psychological sophistication. He understood that effective dreams required more than simple visual imagery, incorporating elements that engaged all the senses and created experiences that felt completely real to the dreamer. The emotions evoked within these dreams were as authentic as any felt during waking hours, making the impact of his visions profound and lasting. Tonight, as you prepare to enter the realm where Morpheus holds dominion, remember that the boundary between waking and sleeping consciousness is far more fluid than most people realize. The ancient Greeks understood that dreams were not merely random neural firing or the mind's attempt to process daily experiences, but genuine communications from divine beings who possessed wisdom and knowledge that transcended mortal limitations. In the hours ahead, we will explore the countless ways in which Morpheus influenced the course of human history through his carefully crafted dream interventions. We will discover how heroes received crucial guidance before undertaking impossible quests, how inventors found inspiration for creations that would change the world, and how ordinary people found comfort and direction during their darkest moments of despair and uncertainty. The realm of dreams that Morpheus governed operated according to its own unique laws and principles, where time flowed differently and the impossible became routine. In this domain, the dead could speak with the living, the future could cast shadows into the present, and the deepest truths of existence could be revealed through symbols and metaphors that bypassed the rational mind's defenses against transformative knowledge. As we continue this journey through the complete mythology of Morpheus, prepare yourself to understand how this ancient god's influence continues to shape human experience even today. Thousands of years after the last temples dedicated to his worship fell into ruin and decay, the sacred duties of Morpheus extended into realms that few mortals could comprehend, for his influence reached beyond individual dreams into the collective unconscious of entire civilizations. When great changes were destined to sweep across the ancient world, it was often Morpheus who prepared humanity through prophetic visions that appeared simultaneously to multiple dreamers across vast distances. These coordinated dream campaigns required extraordinary skill and divine authority, as they involved weaving together countless individual dream experiences into a coherent tapestry of shared meaning and purpose. The god possessed an intimate knowledge of human psychology that allowed him to understand precisely which images, emotions, and scenarios would resonate most powerfully with each dreamer's unique circumstances and personality. A warrior facing an upcoming battle might receive dreams of ancient heroes who had overcome similar challenges, while a mother grieving the loss of a child could find herself visited by comforting visions that provided solace and hope for eventual healing. This personalized approach to dream creation required Morpheus to maintain awareness of countless individual human stories unfolding simultaneously across the Mediterranean world and beyond. The relationship between Morpheus and his father Hypnos represented one of the most harmonious partnerships in all of Greek mythology. While Hypnos governed the physical and physiological aspects of sleep, ensuring that mortals received the rest their bodies required for survival and health, Morpheus focused on the psychological and spiritual dimensions of the sleep experience. This division of responsibilities created a perfect symbiosis that maximized the benefits that sleep could provide to both individual dreamers and society as a whole. During the deepest hours of night, when Hypnos had successfully guided mortals into the profound stages of restorative sleep, Morpheus would begin his sacred work. He would move through the world like a gentle breeze, invisible to waking eyes, but powerfully present to those whose consciousness had been prepared by his father's influence. The timing of his visits was crucial, as dreams delivered too early in the sleep cycle might be forgotten upon waking, while those that came too late could be interrupted by the natural processes of morning awakening. The palace of Morpheus within his father's realm represented architectural magnificence that defied ordinary understanding of space and structure. The building seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, with corridors that led to chambers containing every possible dream scenario that had ever been conceived or ever could be imagined. These rooms shifted and transformed according to the needs of their divine occupant, creating perfect environments for the preparation and rehearsal of dream sequences before they were delivered to their intended recipients. Within these preparation chambers, Morpheus would craft the intricate details of each dream vision with the precision of a master artist working on his greatest masterpiece. He understood that even the smallest elements within a dream could carry profound significance, and he paid careful attention to colors, sounds, lighting, and atmospheric conditions that would enhance the overall impact of the experience. A dream intended to provide guidance might feature warm, golden light that inspired confidence and clarity, while one designed to warn of danger could be suffused with shadows and unsettling undertones that would prompt appropriate caution. The tools and resources available to Morpheus in his dream crafting were as varied and magnificent as his imagination itself. He possessed access to a vast library containing the memories and experiences of every human being who had ever lived, allowing him to draw upon authentic details that would make his dream creations completely convincing to their recipients. This repository of human experience provided him with an inexhaustible source of material for creating dreams that felt absolutely real and personally meaningful to each dreamer. The collaborative relationships that Morpheus maintained with his brothers, Oneiroi and Phobator, created opportunities for dream experiences of unprecedented complexity and richness. When a particularly important message needed to be conveyed, the three brothers would work together to create multi-layered dream narratives that incorporated human figures, animal symbolism, and environmental elements into unified visions that could communicate multiple levels of meaning simultaneously. These collaborative dreams were reserved for the most significant occasions, when the fate of individuals or entire civilizations hung in the balance. The influence of Morpheus extended beyond the delivery of individual dreams to encompass the development and maintenance of dream symbolism that would remain consistent across cultures and generations. The god understood that effective communication through dreams required a shared vocabulary of symbols and metaphors that would be universally recognizable, regardless of the dreamer's specific cultural background or historical period. Flying dreams that represented freedom and transcendence, falling dreams that reflected feelings of loss of control, and dreams of deceased loved ones, ones that provided comfort and closure, became part of this universal dream language that Morpheus helped establish and preserve. The seasonal patterns that governed Morpheus's activities reflected the natural rhythms of human life and agricultural cycles that dominated ancient societies. During the long winter nights, when darkness provided extended opportunities for sleep and dreaming, the gods' activities reached their peak intensity. These months offered ideal conditions for the deep, transformative dreams that could provide guidance for the coming year, heal psychological wounds accumulated during difficult periods, and prepare individuals for the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. Spring brought a different quality to the dreams that Morpheus created, with visions that emphasized renewal, growth, and new possibilities. These dreams often featured imagery of blooming flowers, flowing water, and emerging sunlight, all designed to inspire hope and motivation for new endeavors. Young people seeking direction for their lives were particularly likely to receive meaningful dreams during this season, as Morpheus understood that the energy of spring provided ideal conditions for planting seeds of aspiration and ambition that could flourish throughout the coming year. The summer months, with their shorter nights and lighter sleep patterns, challenged Morpheus to create dreams that were more concise but equally impactful. These abbreviated dream experiences required exceptional skill to convey their intended messages within the limited time available, leading the god to develop techniques for creating intensely concentrated visions that could deliver maximum meaning in minimum time. The dreams of summer often possessed a clarity and directness that made them particularly memorable and actionable for their recipients. Autumn dreams carried the weight of harvest and preparation, often featuring themes of completion, gratitude, and wise preparation for coming challenges. Morpheus understood that this season represented a crucial time for taking stock of accomplishments and failures, making necessary adjustments, and ensuring that adequate resources were available for surviving the difficulties that winter might bring. The dreams he created during these months often provided guidance for practical decisions, while also encouraging reflection on deeper questions of purpose and meaning. The relationship between Morpheus and the other Olympian gods was complex and multifaceted, reflecting his unique position as a deity whose services were valued by virtually every member of the divine pantheon. Zeus himself frequently called upon Morpheus to deliver important messages to mortal rulers and heroes, recognizing that dream communications could be far more effective than direct divine appearances, which often inspired such terror that their intended recipients became unable to comprehend or act upon the guidance being offered. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategic thinking, maintained a particularly close working relationship with Morpheus, as she understood that dreams could provide solutions to complex problems that might not be accessible through purely rational analysis. The goddess would often request specific types of dreams for mortals who faced seemingly impossible challenges, knowing that the symbolic and intuitive language of dreams could reveal creative approaches that logical thinking alone might never discover. Apollo, the god of prophecy and artistic inspiration, collaborated with Morpheus in creating dreams that provided glimpses of future events or sparked creative innovations in music, poetry, and other artistic endeavors. These prophetic and inspirational dreams required exceptional skill to create, as they needed to convey accurate information about future possibilities while remaining sufficiently symbolic to avoid creating fatalistic attitudes that might prevent the very outcomes they were designed to encourage. The goddess Artemis sought Morpheus's assistance when mortals under her protection required guidance related to the hunt, the wilderness, or the sacred bonds between humans and the natural world. Her requests often involved dreams featuring animal guides or forest spirits that could teach important lessons about survival, respect for nature, and the delicate balance that must be maintained between civilization and the wild places that remained beyond human control. These dreams carried the fresh scent of pine forests and the sound of running streams, creating sensory experiences that reminded dreamers of their connection to the untamed aspects of existence. Aphrodite commissioned dreams that explored the complexities of love, desire, and human relationships in all their varied forms. The goddess of love understood that matters of the heart often required subtle guidance that could not be delivered through direct instruction, as the emotions involved were too delicate and personal to withstand heavy-handed divine intervention. Morpheus created dreams of extraordinary beauty and emotional depth for Aphrodite, featuring scenarios that helped mortals understand their own feelings and make wise choices in their romantic endeavors. The war god Ares presented unique challenges for Morpheus, as his requests typically involved dreams that needed to inspire courage and strategic thinking without promoting unnecessary violence or bloodshed. These martial dreams required careful balancing, providing the psychological preparation that warriors needed for battle, while also emphasizing concepts of honor, protection of the innocent, and the ultimate goal of achieving peace through strength. The imagery in such dreams often featured legendary heroes who had demonstrated both physical prowess and moral wisdom in their military achievements. Hephaestus, the divine craftsman, sought dreams that would inspire mortal artisans and inventors to create tools and works of art that would benefit humanity. These technical and creative dreams required Morpheus to understand complex mechanical principles and artistic techniques, translating divine knowledge into forms that mortal minds could comprehend and apply in their earthly workshops. The god took particular pleasure in crafting dreams that led to innovations in agriculture, construction, and artistic expression that improved the quality of life for entire communities. The agricultural goddess Demeter requested dreams during planting and harvest seasons that would guide farmers in making optimal decisions about crop selection, timing, and land management. These agricultural dreams often featured imagery of golden grain fields, abundant orchards, and fertile soil, but they also incorporated practical information about weather patterns, pest control, and soil conservation techniques that reflected genuine divine wisdom about the natural processes governing successful farming. Poseidon's collaboration with Morpheus involved dreams related to sea travel, fishing, and coastal communities that depended on the ocean for their survival and prosperity. These maritime dreams carried the sound of waves and the scent of salt air, featuring imagery of dolphins, favorable winds, and safe harbors that could guide sailors through dangerous waters, or help fishing communities locate the most productive areas for their nets and lines. The messenger god Hermes worked closely with Morpheus on dreams that involved communication, trade, and travel, recognizing that these activities required divine guidance to ensure successful outcomes. Commercial dreams might feature images of bustling marketplaces and profitable trade routes, while travel-related visions could provide warnings about dangerous paths or reveal hidden opportunities for those brave enough to explore unfamiliar territories. The relationship between Morpheus and the three fates represented one of the most profound aspects of his divine function, as these ancient goddesses, who controlled the threads of mortal destiny, often required his services to prepare individuals for significant life transitions. When someone's fate included major changes, challenges, or opportunities, the fates would request specific dreams that would provide the psychological and spiritual preparation necessary for successfully navigating these pivotal moments. Clotho, who spun the thread of life, worked with Morpheus to create dreams for newborns and young children that would plant seeds of their eventual destinies within their developing consciousness. These early dreams were subtle and symbolic, designed to influence personality development and natural inclinations without overriding the individual's free will or capacity for personal choice. The imagery in such dreams often featured archetypal symbols that would resonate throughout the person's entire lifetime, providing a consistent thread of meaning and purpose. Lachesis, who measured the length of each mortal's thread, commissioned dreams that helped individuals understand the approximate duration and quality of their earthly existence. These profound visions required exceptional skill to create, as they needed to provide meaningful guidance about life's finite nature without causing despair or reckless behavior. The dreams often featured imagery of changing seasons, flowing rivers, and other natural cycles that emphasized the beauty and significance of temporal existence, while encouraging wise use of available time. Atropos, who cut the thread of life at its appointed moment, requested dreams that would prepare individuals for their eventual transition from mortal existence to whatever lay beyond. These dreams of preparation for death were among the most challenging that Morpheus created, as they needed to provide comfort and understanding about mortality, while also encouraging continued engagement with life's responsibilities and pleasures. The imagery often featured peaceful scenes of completion, reunion with deceased loved ones, and transitions into states of greater understanding and peace. The seasonal festivals and religious observances throughout the ancient world provided regular opportunities for Morpheus to demonstrate his powers through collective dream experiences that reinforced cultural values and community bonds. During the spring festivals celebrating renewal and fertility, entire communities might experience related dreams featuring common symbols of growth, abundance, and new beginnings that strengthened their shared sense of purpose and optimism. Summer solstice celebrations were often accompanied by dreams that emphasized themes of achievement, prosperity, and the fulfillment of goals that had been set during the darker months of the year. These dreams provided psychological reinforcement for the community's agricultural and economic activities, while also celebrating the creative and productive capacities that distinguished human civilization from the purely natural world. Autumn harvest festivals generated dreams focused on gratitude, community cooperation, and wise preparation for the challenges that winter would inevitably bring. These visions often featured imagery of abundant granaries, warm hearths, and strong family bonds that emphasized the importance of sharing resources and supporting one another during difficult times. Winter solstice observances produced the most profound and transformative dreams of the entire year, as the longest nights provided optimal conditions for deep, meaningful dream experiences. These dreams often explored themes of inner wisdom, spiritual growth, and the hidden sources of strength that could sustain individuals and communities through periods of darkness and hardship. The imagery frequently included symbols of hidden light, underground springs, and other sources of life and hope that persisted even when surface conditions appeared bleak and challenging. The mystery religions that emerged throughout the Mediterranean world relied heavily on the dream experiences that Morpheus provided to their initiates, as these secret societies understood that transformative spiritual insights could not be conveyed through ordinary teaching methods alone. The Eleusinian mysteries, dedicated to Demeter and Persephone, included ritual practices designed to invoke specific types of dreams that would reveal the deeper meanings of death, rebirth, and the cyclical nature of existence. Orphic communities sought dreams that would provide direct experience of the soul's immortal nature and its eventual liberation from the cycle of earthly incarnations. These metaphysical dreams required Morpheus to create visions of extraordinary complexity and philosophical sophistication, featuring imagery that could convey abstract concepts about the nature of reality, consciousness, and divine truth that transcended ordinary human understanding. The Dionysiac mysteries focused on dreams that dissolved the boundaries between individual consciousness and cosmic unity, providing participants with ecstatic experiences of divine communion that transformed their understanding of personal identity and spiritual possibility. These transcendent dreams challenged Morpheus to create experiences that maintained coherence and meaning while also conveying the overwhelming nature of direct contact with divine consciousness. The Mithraic mysteries, popular among soldiers and merchants throughout the Roman Empire, required dreams that would guide initiates through symbolic journeys, representing the soul's ascent through various levels of spiritual development. These initiatory dreams featured complex sequences of challenges, revelations, and transformations that reflected the structured progression through degrees of mystical understanding that characterized this influential mystery religion. Throughout all these varied collaborations and responsibilities, Morpheus maintained his essential nature as a being of compassion and wisdom who genuinely cared about the welfare of both individual mortals and human civilization as a whole. His dreams were never arbitrary or capricious, but always reflected deep understanding of what each recipient truly needed for their spiritual, psychological, and practical development. The legacy of Morpheus extends far beyond the ancient world that first recognized and honored his divine authority over the realm of dreams. Modern understanding of sleep and dreaming continues to validate many of the insights that the ancient Greeks encoded in their myths about this remarkable deity, as contemporary research reveals the crucial role that dreams play in memory consolidation, emotional processing, and creative problem solving. As we continue deeper into this exploration of Morpheus and his dominion over the world of dreams, we will discover how his influence shaped the course of legendary heroes, inspired great works of art and literature, and provided comfort and guidance to countless ordinary people whose names have been forgotten by history, but whose dreams were touched by divine presence during their most vulnerable and receptive hours of sleep. The intricate web of divine relationships that surrounded Morpheus extended into every corner of the ancient world's spiritual landscape, creating connections that influenced not only individual dreams, but the collective consciousness of entire civilizations. His partnership with the Nine Muses represented one of his most creatively fulfilling collaborations, as these goddesses of artistic inspiration recognized that dreams provided the perfect medium for transmitting divine creativity to mortal artists, poets, musicians, and storytellers who would preserve and share their gifts with future generations. Calliope, the muse of epic poetry, worked closely with Morpheus to provide dreams that would inspire the creation of timeless literary masterpieces. These dreams often featured vast panoramas of heroic adventures, divine interventions, and moral struggles that could serve as source material for the great epic poems that would define entire cultures. The imagery in such dreams possessed a grandeur and sweep that matched the elevated style required for epic composition, featuring gods walking among mortals, heroes facing impossible odds, and cosmic conflicts that revealed fundamental truths about human nature and divine justice. Clio, the muse of history, commissioned dreams that would help mortal chroniclers understand the deeper patterns and meanings behind historical events. These historically focused dreams provided perspectives that transcended the immediate circumstances of political conflicts and social changes, revealing the underlying currents of divine purpose that shaped the rise and fall of kingdoms, the movements of peoples, and the development of human civilization over centuries and millennia. Erato, the muse of lyric poetry and love songs, sought dreams that would capture the full spectrum of human emotional experience in all its complexity and beauty. These romantic and emotional dreams required Morpheus to understand the subtle nuances of human relationships, from the first stirrings of attraction through the depths of passionate commitment to the bittersweet pain of loss and separation. The imagery in such dreams often featured natural settings of extraordinary beauty that could serve as metaphors for the landscapes of the human heart. Euterpe, the muse of music and song, collaborated with Morpheus to create dreams filled with melodies that mortal musicians could remember upon waking and transform into compositions that would move audiences to tears, laughter, or profound spiritual contemplation. These musical dreams presented unique challenges for the god of dreams, as he needed to translate the ethereal harmonies of divine music into forms that could be reproduced using mortal instruments and vocal techniques while retaining their essential power to touch the soul. Melpomene, the muse of tragedy, requested dreams that would provide mortal playwrights with insights into the profound themes of suffering, sacrifice, and moral courage that characterized the greatest tragic dramas. These somber yet beautiful dreams explored the darkest aspects of human experience while revealing the dignity and nobility that individuals could achieve even in the face of inevitable defeat or loss. The emotional weight of such dreams required Morpheus to balance despair with hope, ensuring that their tragic beauty would inspire rather than crush the spirits of those who received them. Polyhymnia, the muse of sacred hymns and religious poetry, sought dreams that would convey the ineffable mysteries of divine worship and spiritual devotion in language that mortal tongues could speak and mortal hearts could understand. These sacred dreams required exceptional reverence and care in their creation, as they dealt with the most profound aspects of the relationship between humanity and the divine realm that existed beyond ordinary perception and comprehension. Terpsichore, the muse of dance and choral song, worked with Morpheus to create dreams that expressed meaning through movement and rhythm rather than words alone. These kinesthetic dreams challenged the god to communicate through physical sensations and spatial relationships, creating experiences that would inspire choreographers and dancers to develop new forms of artistic expression that could convey emotions and ideas through the poetry of human movement. Thalia, the muse of comedy and festive celebration, commissioned dreams that would provide relief from life's hardships through humor and joy that celebrated the resilience and absurdity of human existence. These comedic dreams required Morpheus to understand the delicate balance between gentle mockery and cruel ridicule, ensuring that divine laughter would heal rather than wound those who experienced it during their nocturnal journeys into his realm. Urania, the muse of astronomy and universal love, sought dreams that would expand mortal understanding of humanity's place within the vast cosmos and the divine order that governed the movements of stars and planets. These cosmic dreams featured imagery of celestial magnificence that could inspire mathematicians, philosophers, and astronomers to develop new theories about the structure and purpose of the universe itself. The prophetic traditions that flourished throughout the ancient Mediterranean world relied heavily on the dream oracles that Morpheus provided to sanctuaries dedicated to various deities who possessed the gift of foresight. The oracle at Delphi, sacred to Apollo, included among its practices the interpretation of significant dreams that the god of dreams would send to supplement the more famous utterances of the Pythia during her ecstatic trances. The dream incubation practices that developed at healing sanctuaries dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine, represented one of the most systematic approaches to requesting and receiving therapeutic dreams from Morpheus. Pilgrims suffering from physical ailments or psychological distress would undergo purification rituals and sleep within the sacred precincts of these temples, hoping to receive healing dreams that would either cure their conditions directly or provide guidance about appropriate treatments. The preparation rituals for dream incubation involved fasting, ritual bathing, and prayers that were designed to create optimal conditions for receiving meaningful dreams. Pilgrims would abstain from certain foods and activities for specified periods before their temple sleep, ensuring that their physical and spiritual states would be receptive to divine intervention. The temples provided special sleeping chambers that were oriented according to astronomical principles and decorated with symbols that would influence the subconscious mind toward healing and restoration. The priests who supervised these dream incubation practices possessed extensive knowledge of dream interpretation and the symbolic language that Morpheus employed to convey healing information. They understood that therapeutic dreams often employed metaphorical imagery that required careful analysis to extract practical medical guidance. A dream featuring a serpent might indicate the need for a specific herbal remedy, while visions of flowing water could suggest treatments involving hydrotherapy or purification rituals. The collaborative relationship between Morpheus and Asclepius extended beyond individual healing dreams to encompass the development of medical knowledge that would benefit entire communities. The god of dreams would sometimes provide visions to physicians and healers that revealed new treatments, surgical techniques, or understanding of disease processes that represented genuine advances in medical science. These professional dreams for healthcare providers required exceptional accuracy and clarity, as errors in medical guidance could result in serious harm to patients who trusted in divine wisdom. The mystery schools that emerged throughout the Hellenistic period developed sophisticated techniques for working with dreams as tools for spiritual development and philosophical understanding. The Pythagorean communities established elaborate systems for recording, analyzing, and sharing significant dreams among their members, recognizing that these nocturnal visions could provide insights into mathematical principles, harmonic relationships, and the underlying order that governed both the physical and metaphysical aspects of reality. The Platonic academies incorporated dream work into their philosophical practices, understanding that the symbolic and intuitive language of dreams could reveal truths about the nature of reality that might not be accessible through purely rational inquiry. Students were encouraged to maintain dream journals and to discuss their nocturnal visions with teachers who possessed the wisdom to help them extract philosophical meaning from symbolic imagery. The Stoic philosophers developed approaches to dreaming that emphasized the importance of maintaining ethical principles even within the realm of dreams, recognizing that the choices made by dreamers during their nocturnal journeys reflected and influenced their moral development in waking life. These philosophical dreams required Morpheus to create scenarios that would test the dreamer's commitment to virtue while providing opportunities for moral growth and self-understanding. The Epicurean communities focused on dreams that would enhance their understanding of pleasure, friendship, and the pursuit of happiness within the constraints of mortal existence. These hedonistic yet thoughtful dreams explored the subtle distinctions between temporary gratification and lasting contentment, helping dreamers develop more sophisticated approaches to finding satisfaction and meaning in their earthly lives. The emergence of Gnosticism in the later periods of ancient civilization created new demands for dreams that could convey complex metaphysical concepts about the nature of divine reality and the soul's journey toward enlightenment. These esoteric dreams required Morpheus to work with symbolic systems of extraordinary complexity, featuring imagery that could communicate multiple levels of meaning simultaneously while remaining coherent enough to provide practical guidance for spiritual development. The influence of Morpheus on the development of ancient literature extended far beyond his direct interactions with individual poets and writers to encompass the creation of narrative structures and symbolic frameworks that would become fundamental to Western storytelling traditions. The hero's journey that appears in countless myths and legends throughout the Mediterranean world reflects patterns that Morpheus helped establish through the archetypal dreams he provided to storytellers across many generations. The tragic patterns that characterize the greatest works of ancient drama echo the emotional rhythms and moral structures that Morpheus incorporated into the prophetic dreams he created for rulers and heroes who were destined to face impossible choices and noble defeats. The cathartic power of tragic literature derives partly from its ability to recreate the psychological impact of profound dreams that force audiences to confront fundamental questions about fate, responsibility, and human dignity. The comedic traditions that developed alongside tragic drama also bear the influence of Morpheus through their incorporation of dream logic, mistaken identities, and fantastic transformations that mirror the fluid reality of the dream world. The healing laughter that comedy provides serves functions similar to those of therapeutic dreams, offering psychological relief and new perspectives on life's challenges and absurdities. The Romantic literature that celebrated the power of love to transform and transcend ordinary human limitations drew heavily on the imagery and emotional intensity that characterized the love dreams Morpheus created for those who sought divine guidance in matters of the heart. The idealized passion that defines Romantic literature reflects the heightened reality of dream experience, where emotions achieve pure expression unencumbered by practical considerations or social constraints. The philosophical dialogues that became central to ancient intellectual culture incorporated techniques of questioning and revelation that mirrored the methods Morpheus employed in educational dreams, designed to expand the dreamer's understanding of complex ideas. The gradual unveiling of truth through careful inquiry reflects the dream process by which understanding emerges from symbolic imagery through patient interpretation and reflection. The historical writings of ancient chroniclers often incorporated dream accounts and prophetic visions that provided divine commentary on human events and their deeper significance. These historical dreams served to connect temporal events with eternal principles, helping readers understand how individual actions and social developments reflected larger patterns of cosmic order and divine purpose. The religious hymns and sacred poetry that formed the foundation of ancient worship practices drew their imagery and emotional power from the spiritual dreams that Morpheus provided to priests, mystics, and ordinary believers seeking deeper connection with divine reality. The ecstatic language of religious experience often reflects the intensity and transcendence that characterized profound dream encounters with divine presence. The development of ancient educational systems incorporated recognition of dreams as legitimate sources of knowledge and wisdom that could supplement formal instruction and scholarly research. Teachers encourage students to pay attention to significant dreams and to develop skills in dream interpretation that would serve them throughout their lives as sources of guidance and inspiration. The legal systems of ancient civilizations sometimes recognized prophetic dreams as valid evidence in judicial proceedings, particularly in cases where divine intervention was suspected or where ordinary human investigation had failed to reveal the truth. The testimony of skilled dream interpreters could influence court decisions, especially in matters involving religious law or the interpretation of divine will. The military traditions of ancient armies included practices for seeking guidance through dreams before major battles or strategic decisions. Generals and commanders would sometimes undergo ritual preparations designed to invoke meaningful dreams that could reveal enemy weaknesses, optimal tactical approaches, or divine favor for their causes. The agricultural communities throughout the ancient world developed seasonal practices for requesting dreams that would guide their farming decisions, from crop selection and planting timing to harvest techniques and storage methods. These practical dreams provided information that complemented empirical observation and traditional knowledge, helping farmers adapt to changing conditions and maximize their productivity. The trading networks that connected distant civilizations relied partly on dreams that could reveal favorable routes, trustworthy partners, and profitable opportunities in foreign markets. Merchants would sometimes seek dream guidance before undertaking dangerous journeys or making major commercial commitments that could affect their family's financial security for generations. The artistic traditions that flourished throughout the ancient world drew inspiration from the visual imagery, emotional intensity, and symbolic richness that characterized the most memorable dreams created by Morpheus. Painters, sculptors, and craftsmen developed techniques for translating dream experiences into permanent artistic forms that could share their beauty and meaning with others who had not experienced the original visions. The architectural achievements of ancient civilizations sometimes reflected dream visions of ideal structures that combined functional efficiency with spiritual significance. Temples, palaces, and public buildings incorporated design elements that had first appeared in dreams, creating physical spaces that could inspire and elevate those who occupied or visited them. The technological innovations that advanced ancient civilizations occasionally originated in technical dreams that revealed new methods for solving practical problems or improving existing tools and techniques. Inventors and craftsmen who remained open to dream guidance sometimes discovered solutions that had eluded their conscious analytical efforts, leading to developments that benefited entire communities. The musical traditions that defined cultural identity for various ancient peoples incorporated melodies, rhythms, and harmonic structures that had first been heard in the musical dreams that Morpheus created for composers and performers. These divine musical inspirations became part of the cultural heritage that connected generations and preserved community values through artistic expression. The mathematical and scientific advances achieved by ancient scholars sometimes resulted from dreams that revealed patterns, relationships, and principles that had not been apparent through conventional research methods. The symbolic language of dreams proved capable of communicating abstract concepts that expanded human understanding of natural phenomena and mathematical relationships. The medical practices that developed throughout the ancient world incorporated treatments and diagnostic techniques that had been revealed through healing dreams provided to physicians and healers seeking divine guidance for their patients' care. Those medical dreams contributed to the accumulation of therapeutic knowledge that would eventually form the foundation for more systematic approaches to healthcare. The philosophical systems that emerged from ancient intellectual inquiry incorporated insights about the nature of reality, consciousness, and human purpose that had been conveyed through the profound metaphysical dreams that Morpheus created for thinkers seeking deeper understanding of existence itself. These philosophical dreams helped establish conceptual frameworks that would influence human thought for millennia. As the ancient world gradually gave way to new civilizations and belief systems, the influence of Morpheus evolved and adapted while maintaining its essential character as a source of guidance, inspiration, and healing through the medium of dreams. The Christian communities that emerged throughout the Roman Empire continued to recognize the significance of meaningful dreams while interpreting them within their new theological frameworks. The monastic traditions that developed within Christianity incorporated practices for cultivating receptivity to divine dreams while maintaining appropriate discernment about their spiritual significance. Monks and nuns who dedicated their lives to prayer and contemplation, often received guidance through dreams that helped them navigate the challenges of spiritual development and community life. The Islamic civilization that spread throughout much of the former Mediterranean world preserved and expanded upon ancient dream traditions while integrating them with new religious and philosophical perspectives. The recognition of dreams as potential vehicles for divine revelation continued under Islamic scholarship, which developed sophisticated approaches to dream interpretation and spiritual guidance. The preservation of ancient texts and traditions through the Dark Ages and into the Renaissance period ensured that knowledge of Morpheus and his influence on human culture would survive to inspire new generations of artists, scholars, and spiritual seekers. The rediscovery of classical learning during the Renaissance led to renewed interest in dream symbolism and the psychological significance of nocturnal visions. The development of modern psychology and neuroscience has validated many of the insights about dreams that were preserved in the ancient myths of Morpheus, confirming that dreams play crucial roles in memory processing, emotional regulation, and creative problem-solving. Contemporary research continues to reveal new aspects of dream function that echo the wisdom encoded in ancient mythological traditions. The therapeutic applications of dream work in modern psychology and psychiatry reflect the healing traditions that originated with the dream temples of ancient civilizations. The recognition that dreams can provide access to unconscious knowledge and promote psychological integration validates the ancient understanding of dreams as sources of wisdom and transformation. The artistic and literary traditions that continue to draw inspiration from dream imagery and symbolism demonstrate the enduring power of the archetypal patterns that Morpheus helped establish through his influence on ancient culture. Modern artists and writers still find in dreams a source of creativity that transcends the limitations of ordinary conscious thought. The scientific study of consciousness and the nature of subjective experience has revealed the complexity and sophistication of the dream state, confirming that the realm of dreams represents a genuine alternative mode of awareness, rather than simply a confused or diminished version of waking consciousness. This validation of dream reality supports the ancient view of dreams as meaningful experiences worthy of careful attention and interpretation. The scientific exploration of sleep cycles and brain activity during dreaming has revealed patterns that remarkably mirror the ancient understanding of how Morpheus conducted his nightly journeys through human consciousness. Modern sleep laboratories have documented the precise timing and neurological conditions that create optimal environments for vivid, meaningful dreams, confirming the sophisticated knowledge that ancient peoples possessed about the mechanics of divine dream visitation. The rapid eye movement phases that characterize the deepest dream states correspond exactly to the periods when ancient sources claimed Morpheus was most active in his visitations to sleeping mortals. These REM cycles occur in predictable patterns throughout the night, creating windows of opportunity that the god would utilize to maximum effect in delivering his carefully crafted visions to receptive dreamers. The neurochemical changes that occur during these dream phases create conditions of heightened creativity and emotional receptivity that would have provided ideal circumstances for the type of transformative experiences that Morpheus specialized in creating. The temporary suspension of critical thinking and logical analysis during dream states allowed his symbolic messages to bypass the rational mind's tendency to reject or dismiss information that challenged conventional understanding. The memory consolidation processes that occur during sleep provide scientific validation for the ancient belief that dreams could permanently alter the dreamer's knowledge, attitudes, and capabilities. The integration of dream experiences with existing memories creates lasting changes in neural pathways that can influence behavior and decision-making long after the original dream has faded from conscious recollection. The discovery that dreams play crucial roles in problem-solving and creative insight supports the ancient understanding that Morpheus could provide solutions to challenges that had proven resistant to conventional approaches. The dream state's ability to make novel connections between seemingly unrelated concepts mirrors the god's talent for revealing hidden relationships and unexpected possibilities through symbolic imagery. The therapeutic value of dreams in processing traumatic experiences and emotional conflicts validates the healing traditions associated with ancient dream temples and the restorative powers that were attributed to Morpheus's interventions. Modern trauma therapy increasingly recognizes that dream work can provide pathways to recovery that complement traditional therapeutic approaches. The cross-cultural consistency of certain dream symbols and themes suggests the existence of universal patterns that transcend individual cultural backgrounds, supporting the ancient view that Morpheus operated according to archetypal principles that could communicate effectively across diverse populations and historical periods. The influence of external stimuli on dream content demonstrates that the boundary between waking and sleeping consciousness is more permeable than previously understood, confirming the ancient belief that divine beings could interact with mortal awareness through various sensory channels during sleep. The prophetic aspects of dreams that occasionally provide accurate information about future events continue to puzzle modern researchers, though ancient peoples would have recognized such experiences as evidence of Morpheus's ability to transcend the normal limitations of temporal perception. The collaborative nature of dream creation, where multiple factors contribute to the final dream experience, mirrors the ancient understanding that Morpheus worked in concert with other divine beings to produce dreams of maximum effectiveness and meaning. The physiological benefits of adequate dream sleep, including immune system enhancement and cognitive performance improvement, reflect the ancient recognition that dreams were essential for maintaining optimal health and mental functioning. The social and cultural functions of dream sharing in ancient communities created networks of meaning that reinforced shared values and collective identity, while providing mechanisms for transmitting wisdom across generations. The seasonal variations in dream patterns and content that modern research has documented correspond to the ancient understanding that Morpheus's activities were influenced by natural cycles and cosmic rhythms that affected all aspects of earthly existence. The relationship between dreams and artistic creativity continues to inspire contemporary artists, musicians, and writers who seek to capture and express the unique qualities of dream experience through their creative works. The therapeutic communities that have developed around dream work in modern times echo the ancient mystery schools and healing temples that recognized dreams as powerful tools for personal transformation and spiritual development. The technological attempts to record and analyze dream content using modern instrumentation reflect humanity's ongoing desire to understand and harness the power of dreams, continuing the ancient tradition of seeking to optimize dream experiences for practical benefit. The philosophical implications of dream consciousness for understanding the nature of reality and personal identity continue to challenge thinkers in ways that would have been familiar to ancient philosophers who grappled with similar questions about the relationship between dreaming and waking awareness. The psychological profiles of individuals who experience particularly vivid or meaningful dreams often reveal characteristics that ancient peoples would have recognized as indicating special receptivity to divine communication through the medium of sleep. The cultural variations in dream interpretation and significance demonstrate that while the basic human capacity for meaningful dreaming appears universal, the specific frameworks for understanding dream experiences reflect the particular spiritual and intellectual traditions of different societies. The educational applications of dream work in developing creativity, problem-solving skills, and emotional intelligence validate the ancient practice of incorporating dream experiences into comprehensive approaches to human development and learning. The therapeutic use of guided imagery and visualization techniques that draw upon dream symbolism represents a modern adaptation of ancient practices for working consciously with the archetypal patterns that govern dream experience. The recognition that dreams can provide early warning signs of physical illness or psychological disturbance supports the ancient understanding that Morpheus possessed diagnostic abilities that could reveal hidden health conditions through symbolic dream imagery. The study of lucid dreaming, where individuals maintain conscious awareness during dream states, offers insights into the potential for deliberate collaboration between mortal consciousness and the divine forces that govern dream experience. The neurological research on the default mode network and its relationship to dream consciousness has revealed brain mechanisms that support the ancient view of dreams as accessing forms of knowledge and awareness that transcend ordinary waking thought. The investigation of shared dreaming experiences and telepathic dream communication continues to explore phenomena that ancient peoples would have attributed to the coordinating influence of divine beings like Morpheus, who could orchestrate synchronized dream experiences across multiple individuals. The therapeutic applications of dream reentry and dream continuation techniques reflect ancient practices for extending and deepening the transformative potential of significant dream experiences through conscious engagement with their symbolic content. The development of dream enhancement technologies and pharmaceutical interventions that affect dream content represents contemporary attempts to influence the dream process in ways that parallel ancient ritual practices for invoking specific types of divine dream visitations. The recognition of dreams as valid sources of creative and intellectual inspiration in academic and professional contexts validates the ancient understanding that nocturnal visions could provide genuine contributions to human knowledge and cultural development. The integration of dream work with meditation and contemplative practices in modern spiritual traditions continues the ancient recognition that dreams and other altered states of consciousness provide complementary pathways to transcendent understanding and divine communion. The study of dream symbolism in literature and art reveals the continuing influence of archetypal patterns that Morpheus helped establish through his mythological interventions in human culture and consciousness. The therapeutic value of nightmare resolution techniques demonstrates the ancient understanding that even disturbing dreams could be transformed into sources of healing and empowerment through appropriate intervention and interpretation. The investigation of dreams in relation to decision-making and moral development supports the ancient view that nocturnal visions could provide ethical guidance and wisdom for navigating complex life choices. The cross-cultural study of dream incubation practices reveals common techniques and principles that suggest universal human capacity for cultivating receptivity to meaningful dream experiences through ritual preparation and intentional practice. The neurological correlates of mystical dream experiences provide scientific frameworks for understanding the profound spiritual encounters that ancient peoples attributed to direct contact with divine beings during sleep states. The therapeutic communities that specialize in trauma recovery through dream work continue the ancient healing traditions while adapting them to address contemporary forms of psychological injury and social disruption. The educational programs that incorporate dream journals and dream sharing as tools for personal development reflect the ancient understanding that dreams provide valuable insights into individual psychology and spiritual needs. The artistic movements that draw inspiration from dream imagery and surreal visual experiences continue the tradition of translating nocturnal visions into cultural expressions that can be shared and appreciated by wider communities. The philosophical investigations of dream consciousness and its implications for understanding reality continue the ancient dialogue about the relationship between subjective experience and objective truth that engaged thinkers throughout classical antiquity. The technological developments in sleep monitoring and dream research represent contemporary versions of the ancient desire to understand and optimize the conditions that promote meaningful dream experiences and their beneficial effects on human well-being. The recognition of dreams as legitimate subjects for academic study and scholarly research validates the ancient view that nocturnal visions deserve serious attention as phenomena that can contribute to human knowledge and understanding. The therapeutic applications of archetypal psychology and mythological frameworks in dream interpretation continue the ancient tradition of using symbolic narratives to understand and integrate dream experiences into conscious awareness. The study of collective dreaming patterns during times of social crisis or cultural transition reveals phenomena that ancient peoples would have understood as evidence of divine intervention in human affairs through coordinated dream experiences. The development of virtual reality technologies that can simulate dreamlike experiences represents contemporary attempts to recreate artificially the transformative potential of natural dream states and their capacity for psychological and spiritual development. The investigation of dreams in relation to creativity and innovation continues to reveal mechanisms by which nocturnal consciousness can contribute to scientific discovery, artistic achievement, and technological advancement in ways that complement rational analysis and empirical research. The therapeutic use of dream symbols and metaphors in various healing modalities demonstrates the continuing relevance of the symbolic language that Morpheus employed to communicate complex psychological and spiritual concepts through accessible imagery. The cultural preservation efforts that document traditional dream practices and beliefs from indigenous societies around the world reveal the global significance of dream consciousness in human spiritual and psychological development across diverse cultural contexts. The integration of dream work with modern psychological therapies creates synthesis approaches that combine ancient wisdom about dream significance with contemporary understanding of mental health and emotional well-being. The study of dreams in relation to memory formation and learning processes continues to reveal the sophisticated neurological mechanisms that support the ancient understanding of dreams as tools for knowledge acquisition and skill development. The investigation of prophetic dreams and precognitive experiences using rigorous scientific methods represents contemporary attempts to understand phenomena that ancient peoples readily accepted as evidence of divine foresight and temporal transcendence. The therapeutic applications of dream re-scripting and dream dialogue techniques reflect ancient practices for actively engaging with dream content to promote healing, resolution, and personal transformation through conscious collaboration with unconscious processes. The development of dream-based creative methodologies in artistic and literary fields continues the tradition of using nocturnal visions as sources of inspiration and innovation that can expand human creative expression and cultural achievement. The neurological research on the relationship between dreams and emotional regulation provides scientific validation for the ancient understanding that sleep and dreaming play crucial roles in maintaining psychological balance and emotional well-being. The study of dreams in relation to spiritual development and mystical experience continues to explore the mechanisms by which altered states of consciousness can provide access to transcendent knowledge and transformative understanding. The therapeutic communities that integrate dream work with ecological awareness and environmental healing reflect ancient understanding of the connections between human consciousness, natural cycles, and cosmic harmony. The investigation of dreams as sources of guidance for ethical decision-making and moral development supports the ancient view that nocturnal visions can provide wisdom for navigating complex moral challenges and personal choices. The development of dream-sharing technologies and online dream communities represents contemporary adaptations of ancient practices for collective dream interpretation and community-based approaches to understanding dream significance. The study of dreams in relation to cultural identity and social cohesion reveals the continuing importance of shared symbolic systems and collective unconscious patterns in maintaining community bonds and cultural continuity. The therapeutic applications of mythological frameworks and archetypal psychology in dream analysis continue the ancient tradition of using narrative structures and symbolic systems to understand and integrate dream experiences into conscious awareness and personal development. The investigation of dreams as sources of scientific insight and technological innovation demonstrates the continuing relevance of nocturnal consciousness as a complement to rational analysis and empirical investigation in advancing human knowledge and capability. The development of educational curricula that incorporate dream studies and consciousness research reflects growing recognition of the importance of understanding subjective experience and altered states of awareness in comprehensive approaches to human development and learning. The therapeutic use of dream symbols and metaphors in various healing traditions demonstrates the universal significance of the symbolic language that governs dream experience and its capacity to communicate profound truths about psychological and spiritual reality. The therapeutic recognition of dream work as a legitimate healing modality continues to expand as practitioners discover the profound connections between nocturnal visions and psychological well-being that ancient cultures understood intuitively. Modern therapeutic approaches that incorporate dream analysis and symbolic interpretation validate the wisdom that guided ancient dream temples, where skilled priests recognized that healing could emerge through careful attention to the messages conveyed through sleep experiences. The relationship between dreams and physical health demonstrates connections that would have been readily accepted by ancient peoples who understood the body and spirit as interconnected aspects of human existence. Contemporary medical research revealing how dream deprivation affects immune function, cognitive performance, and emotional stability confirms the ancient recognition that proper sleep and meaningful dreaming were essential for maintaining optimal health and vitality. The study of recurring dreams and their psychological significance provides insights into the persistent patterns of unconscious communication that Morpheus employed to ensure his messages reached their intended recipients. These repetitive dream experiences often indicate unresolved psychological issues or unfulfilled spiritual needs that require conscious attention and integration before the dreamer can progress to new levels of understanding and development. The investigation of nightmare disorders and their treatment through various therapeutic interventions reflects ancient understanding that disturbing dreams often served protective functions by forcing dreamers to confront fears, traumas, or psychological conflicts that needed resolution. The transformation of nightmares into empowering dream experiences through therapeutic techniques mirrors the ancient belief that even the most frightening dreams could become sources of strength and wisdom when properly understood and integrated. The neurological research on dream formation and content reveals the complex interplay of memory, emotion, and imagination that creates the rich tapestry of dream experience. These scientific discoveries validate the ancient understanding that dreams represented genuine psychological events with the power to influence waking consciousness, behavior, and personal development through their symbolic content and emotional impact. The cultural anthropology of dream beliefs across different societies demonstrates the universal human recognition of dreams as meaningful experiences that deserve careful attention and interpretation. The consistency of certain dream symbols and themes across diverse cultures supports the ancient Greek understanding that archetypal patterns governed dream experience, creating a universal language of symbols that could communicate effectively regardless of cultural background or historical period. The therapeutic applications of active imagination and guided imagery techniques draw upon the same psychological principles that governed ancient dream work, allowing individuals to engage consciously with symbolic imagery and archetypal patterns for healing and personal transformation. These approaches validate the ancient understanding that the symbolic language of dreams could be accessed and utilized through deliberate practice and skilled guidance. The study of collective dreaming phenomena during times of social crisis or cultural transition reveals patterns that ancient peoples would have recognized as evidence of divine intervention in human affairs. The tendency for multiple individuals to experience similar dreams during periods of upheaval or change suggests coordinated influences that transcend individual psychology and reflect broader spiritual or cosmic forces affecting entire communities. The development of dream enhancement techniques and practices for cultivating meaningful dream experiences continues the ancient tradition of ritual preparation for divine dream visitation. Modern approaches to improving dream recall, increasing dream vividness, and promoting lucid dreaming reflect the same understanding that guided ancient practitioners who sought to optimize their receptivity to divine communication through sleep. The integration of dream work with ecological awareness and environmental consciousness reflects ancient understanding of the connections between human consciousness and natural cycles. The recognition that seasonal changes, lunar phases, and other natural rhythms influence dream patterns validates the ancient view that human consciousness existed within a larger web of cosmic relationships that affected all aspects of earthly existence. The therapeutic use of dream symbols in art therapy and expressive healing modalities demonstrates the continuing power of visual imagery to convey psychological and spiritual truths that resist verbal expression. The ability of dream-inspired artwork to facilitate emotional release, insight, and transformation reflects the same principles that governed ancient religious art, designed to evoke spiritual experiences through symbolic representation. The investigation of telepathic dreaming and shared dream experiences continues to explore phenomena that ancient peoples accepted as natural expressions of spiritual connection between individuals. The scientific study of these experiences, using rigorous research methods, represents contemporary attempts to understand the mechanisms by which consciousness might transcend individual boundaries during sleep states. The development of virtual reality technologies that simulate dreamlike experiences reflects modern attempts to recreate artificially the transformative potential of natural dream states. These technological innovations echo ancient practices for creating sacred spaces and ritual environments designed to facilitate transcendent experiences and spiritual transformation through controlled sensory input and symbolic imagery. The therapeutic communities that specialize in trauma recovery through dream work continue ancient healing traditions while adapting them to address contemporary forms of psychological injury and social disruption. The recognition that dreams can provide pathways to healing from complex trauma validates ancient understanding of sleep as a time when divine intervention could restore psychological wholeness and spiritual vitality. The educational programs that incorporate dream studies and consciousness research reflect growing recognition of the importance of understanding subjective experience and altered states of awareness in comprehensive approaches to human development and learning. These academic initiatives validate the ancient view that dreams represented legitimate sources of knowledge and wisdom worthy of serious study and systematic investigation. The artistic movements that draw inspiration from dream imagery and surreal visual experiences continue the tradition of translating nocturnal visions into cultural expressions that can be shared and appreciated by wider communities. The ability of dream-inspired art to evoke profound emotional responses and spiritual insights demonstrates the continuing relevance of the symbolic language that Morpheus employed in his divine communications. The philosophical investigations of dream consciousness and its implications for understanding reality continue the ancient dialogue about the relationship between subjective experience and objective truth that engaged thinkers throughout classical antiquity. Contemporary philosophers and consciousness researchers grapple with questions about the nature of dream reality that would have been familiar to ancient scholars who recognized dreams as legitimate forms of experience, deserving careful analysis and interpretation. The technological developments in sleep monitoring and dream research represent contemporary versions of the ancient desire to understand and optimize the conditions that promote meaningful dream experiences and their beneficial effects on human well-being. The sophisticated instruments used in modern sleep laboratories echo the careful observations and systematic approaches that characterized ancient dream temples and healing sanctuaries. The recognition of dreams as legitimate subjects for academic study and scholarly research validates the ancient view that nocturnal visions deserve serious attention as phenomena that can contribute to human knowledge and understanding. The growing body of scientific literature on dream research demonstrates the continuing relevance of questions about consciousness, meaning, and spiritual experience that occupied ancient thinkers and religious practitioners. The therapeutic applications of archetypal psychology and mythological frameworks in dream interpretation continue the ancient tradition of using symbolic narratives to understand and integrate dream experiences into conscious awareness. The recognition that mythological patterns provide useful frameworks for understanding psychological development and spiritual growth validates the wisdom encoded in ancient stories about divine beings like Morpheus, who guided human consciousness through symbolic communication. The study of collective dreaming patterns during times of social crisis or cultural transition reveals phenomena that ancient peoples would have understood as evidence of divine intervention in human affairs through coordinated dream experiences. The tendency for shared symbols and themes to emerge in the dreams of multiple individuals during significant historical periods suggests influences that transcend individual psychology and reflect broader spiritual or cosmic forces affecting entire civilizations. The development of virtual reality technologies that can simulate dreamlike experiences represents contemporary attempts to recreate artificially the transformative potential of natural dream states and their capacity for psychological and spiritual development. These technological innovations reflect the same understanding that guided ancient practitioners who created sacred spaces and ritual environments designed to facilitate transcendent experiences through carefully controlled sensory input and symbolic imagery. The investigation of dreams in relation to creativity and innovation continues to reveal mechanisms by which nocturnal consciousness can contribute to scientific discovery, artistic achievement, and technological advancement in ways that complement rational analysis and empirical research. The recognition that dreams can provide solutions to complex problems validates ancient understanding of sleep as a time when divine wisdom could illuminate challenges that had proven resistant to conventional approaches. The therapeutic use of dream symbols and metaphors in various healing modalities demonstrates the continuing relevance of the symbolic language that Morpheus employed to communicate complex psychological and spiritual concepts through accessible imagery. The ability of dream symbols to bypass rational defenses and speak directly to unconscious needs and conflicts reflects the same psychological principles that governed ancient divine communication through sleep states. The cultural preservation efforts that document traditional dream practices and beliefs from indigenous societies around the world reveal the global significance of dream consciousness in human spiritual and psychological development across diverse cultural contexts. These ethnographic studies demonstrate the universal human recognition of dreams as meaningful experiences that connect individuals to spiritual realities and provide guidance for navigating life's challenges and opportunities. The integration of dream work with modern psychological therapies creates synthesis approaches that combine ancient wisdom about dream significance with contemporary understanding of mental health and emotional well-being. These therapeutic innovations validate the ancient recognition that dreams could serve as powerful tools for healing psychological wounds and promoting personal transformation through symbolic communication and unconscious processing. The study of dreams in relation to memory formation and learning processes continues to reveal the sophisticated neurological mechanisms that support the ancient understanding of dreams as tools for knowledge acquisition and skill development. The discovery that dreams play crucial roles in consolidating memories and integrating new information validates the ancient view that sleep represented a time when divine influence could enhance human learning and understanding. The investigation of prophetic dreams and precognitive experiences using rigorous scientific methods represents contemporary attempts to understand phenomena that ancient peoples readily accepted as evidence of divine foresight and temporal transcendence. While modern science approaches these experiences with appropriate skepticism, the persistent reports of apparently prophetic dreams continue to challenge conventional understanding of consciousness and temporal perception. The therapeutic applications of dream rescripting and dream dialogue techniques reflect ancient practices for actively engaging with dream content to promote healing, resolution, and personal transformation through conscious collaboration with unconscious processes. These therapeutic innovations demonstrate the continuing relevance of approaches that treat dreams as interactive experiences rather than passive observations of unconscious activity. The development of dream-based creative methodologies in artistic and literary fields continues the tradition of using nocturnal visions as sources of inspiration and innovation that can expand human creative expression and cultural achievement. The recognition that dreams can provide unique perspectives and novel solutions validates ancient understanding of sleep as a time when divine inspiration could enhance human creativity and artistic vision. The neurological research on the relationship between dreams and emotional regulation provides scientific validation for the ancient understanding that sleep and dreaming play crucial roles in maintaining psychological balance and emotional well-being. The discovery that dream deprivation can lead to emotional instability and psychological distress confirms the ancient recognition that proper sleep was essential for mental health and spiritual vitality. The study of dreams in relation to spiritual development and mystical experience continues to explore the mechanisms by which altered states of consciousness can provide access to transcendent knowledge and transformative understanding. These investigations validate ancient traditions that recognized dreams as legitimate pathways to spiritual insight and divine communion, worthy of systematic cultivation and careful interpretation. The therapeutic communities that integrate dream work with ecological awareness and environmental healing reflect ancient understanding of the connections between human consciousness, natural cycles, and cosmic harmony. The recognition that environmental factors can influence dream content and that dreams can provide insights into ecological relationships validates the ancient view of humans as participants in larger webs of natural and spiritual connection. The investigation of dreams as sources of guidance for ethical decision-making and moral development supports the ancient view that nocturnal visions can provide wisdom for navigating complex moral challenges and personal choices. The study of how dreams influence moral reasoning and ethical behavior demonstrates the continuing relevance of approaches that integrate spiritual guidance with practical decision-making processes. The development of dream-sharing technologies and online dream communities represents contemporary adaptations of ancient practices for collective dream interpretation and community-based approaches to understanding dream significance. These technological innovations create new possibilities for sharing dream experiences and insights while maintaining the essential recognition that dreams carry meanings that benefit from communal exploration and interpretation. The study of dreams in relation to cultural identity and social cohesion reveals the continuing importance of shared symbolic systems and collective unconscious patterns in maintaining community bonds and cultural continuity. The recognition that dreams can reinforce cultural values and transmit traditional wisdom validates ancient practices that integrated dream sharing into community life and cultural education. The therapeutic applications of mythological frameworks and archetypal psychology in dream analysis continue the ancient tradition of using narrative structures and symbolic systems to understand and integrate dream experiences into conscious awareness and personal development. These approaches demonstrate the continuing relevance of mythological wisdom for understanding psychological processes and spiritual development in contemporary contexts. The investigation of dreams as sources of scientific insight and technological innovation demonstrates the continuing relevance of nocturnal consciousness as a complement to rational analysis and empirical investigation in advancing human knowledge and capability. The recognition that dreams can provide creative solutions to technical problems validates ancient understanding of sleep as a time when divine wisdom could enhance human understanding and problem-solving abilities. The development of educational curricula that incorporate dream studies and consciousness research reflects growing recognition of the importance of understanding subjective experience and altered states of awareness in comprehensive approaches to human development and learning. These academic initiatives represent contemporary versions of ancient educational practices that integrated dream work into comprehensive approaches to wisdom and personal development. The therapeutic use of dream symbols and metaphors in various healing traditions demonstrates the universal significance of the symbolic language that governs dream experience and its capacity to communicate profound truths about psychological and spiritual reality. The cross-cultural consistency of certain therapeutic applications validates the ancient understanding that dream symbols operate according to archetypal principles that transcend individual cultural backgrounds and historical periods. As we journey deeper into the realm where Morpheus exercises his divine authority, we begin to understand how his influence extends beyond individual dream experiences to encompass the very structure of human consciousness and its relationship to transcendent reality. The god of dreams serves not merely as a deliverer of nocturnal visions, but as a guardian of the threshold between different modes of awareness, ensuring that the wisdom of the unconscious mind remains accessible to those who seek guidance and transformation through the sacred act of sleep. The sacred threshold that Morpheus guards between waking consciousness and the deeper realms of awareness represents one of the most profound mysteries of human existence. For it is through this liminal space that mortals can access knowledge and understanding that transcends the limitations of ordinary perception. The god's role as guardian of this boundary requires exceptional wisdom and discernment, as he must determine which souls are prepared to receive transformative visions and which dreams will serve the highest good for both individuals and the collective human experience. The preparation that Morpheus undertakes before crafting each dream reflects the meticulous care of a master artisan who understands that every detail contributes to the overall effectiveness of his creation. The god spends considerable time observing potential dreamers during their waking hours, studying their personalities, their challenges, their deepest needs, and their capacity for growth and transformation. This careful observation allows him to create dreams that are perfectly tailored to each individual's psychological and spiritual requirements, ensuring maximum impact and lasting benefit. The seasonal rhythms that govern Morpheus's activities create natural cycles of dream intensity and significance that correspond to the agricultural and spiritual calendars that shaped ancient civilizations. During the autumn months, as the harvest concluded and communities prepared for winter's contemplative period, the god would focus his efforts on dreams that encouraged reflection, gratitude, and wise preparation for the challenges ahead. These dreams often featured imagery of abundant granaries, warm hearths, and strong community bonds that emphasized the importance of cooperation and mutual support. Winter's long nights provided optimal conditions for the most profound and transformative dreams of the entire year, as the extended periods of darkness created natural opportunities for deep, meaningful sleep experiences. During these months, Morpheus would craft dreams of extraordinary complexity and spiritual depth, featuring visions that could guide dreamers through inner journeys of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. The imagery in winter dreams often included symbols of hidden light, underground springs, and other sources of life and hope that persisted even during the darkest and most challenging periods. The arrival of spring brought renewed energy and optimism to Morpheus's dream creations, as the season's themes of renewal and growth provided perfect context for dreams that encourage new beginnings and fresh perspectives. Young people seeking direction for their lives were particularly likely to receive meaningful guidance during this season, as the god understood that spring's creative energy provided ideal conditions for planting seeds of aspiration and ambition that could flourish throughout the coming year. Summer's shorter nights challenged Morpheus to create dreams that were more concentrated but equally powerful, requiring exceptional skill to convey complex messages within limited time periods. These abbreviated dream experiences often possessed remarkable clarity and directness, cutting straight to the heart of the dreamer's most pressing concerns and providing practical guidance that could be immediately implemented upon awakening. The intensity of summer dreams compensated for their brevity, creating unforgettable experiences that could influence behavior and decision-making for months afterward. The collaborative relationships that Morpheus maintained with other divine beings created opportunities for dream experiences of unprecedented richness and complexity, as multiple deities would contribute their specialized knowledge and perspectives to create unified visions that addressed various aspects of human experience simultaneously. When Zeus required important messages to be delivered to mortal rulers, he would work with Morpheus to create authoritative dreams that conveyed divine will while respecting the psychological needs and limitations of their recipients. Athena's partnership with Morpheus produced dreams of exceptional intellectual sophistication, featuring complex symbolic narratives that could provide solutions to seemingly impossible problems through creative approaches that bypassed conventional logical analysis. These collaborative dreams often appeared to inventors, philosophers, and strategists who faced challenges requiring innovative thinking and unprecedented solutions. The goddess of wisdom would contribute her analytical capabilities, while Morpheus provided the symbolic language and emotional resonance necessary to make the guidance memorable and actionable. Apollo's collaboration with the god of dreams resulted in prophetic visions of extraordinary accuracy and artistic beauty, combining divine foresight with masterful dream craftsmanship to create experiences that could prepare mortals for future events while inspiring them to achieve their highest potential. These prophetic dreams required careful balance between revealing necessary information and maintaining the element of choice that allowed individuals to shape their own destinies through conscious decision-making. The healing partnerships between Morpheus and Asclepius produced therapeutic dreams that could diagnose illnesses, reveal appropriate treatments, and even facilitate miraculous cures through the power of divine intervention channeled through sleep experiences. These medical dreams often featured symbolic imagery that required careful interpretation by skilled healers who understood the metaphorical language that governed divine communication about physical and psychological health conditions. The mysteries of dream incubation that developed at healing temples throughout the ancient world represented sophisticated approaches to requesting and receiving specific types of divine guidance through carefully controlled sleep experiences. Pilgrims seeking healing would undergo elaborate purification rituals designed to prepare their consciousness for divine contact, then sleep within sacred precincts where the atmospheric conditions and spiritual influences had been optimized for meaningful dream reception. The preparation rituals for dream incubation involved fasting, ritual bathing, and prayers that created optimal physical and spiritual conditions for receiving divine visions. Pilgrims would abstain from certain foods and activities for specified periods before their temple sleep, ensuring that their bodily and mental states would be receptive to supernatural intervention. The temples provided specialized sleeping chambers oriented according to astronomical principles and decorated with symbols designed to influence the subconscious mind toward healing and restoration. The priests who supervised dream incubation practices possessed extensive knowledge of dream interpretation and the symbolic vocabulary that Morpheus employed to convey healing information. They understood that therapeutic dreams often used metaphorical imagery that required careful analysis to extract practical medical guidance, with symbols like serpents indicating specific herbal remedies and images of flowing water suggesting treatments involving purification or hydrotherapy. The architectural design of dream temples reflected sophisticated understanding of environmental factors that could influence sleep quality and dream vividness, with careful attention to acoustics, lighting, air circulation, and spatial proportions that would create optimal conditions for meaningful dream experiences. The chambers were positioned to take advantage of natural magnetic fields and underground water sources that were believed to enhance spiritual receptivity and divine communication. The training programs for Dream Temple personnel included instruction in psychology, medicine, astronomy, and religious ritual, ensuring that those who supervised dream incubation possessed comprehensive knowledge necessary for guiding pilgrims through the complex process of seeking divine healing through sleep experiences. These skilled practitioners could recognize signs of successful dream contact and provide appropriate interpretation and follow-up guidance. The record-keeping systems maintained at major dream temples documented thousands of cases where pilgrims received healing dreams that led to successful treatment of various ailments, creating databases of information that allowed temple personnel to identify patterns and improve their techniques for facilitating divine intervention through sleep experiences. These records provided valuable insights into the symbolic language of healing dreams and the conditions that promoted successful therapeutic outcomes. The network connections between different dream temples allowed for sharing of knowledge and techniques, creating standardized approaches to dream incubation while maintaining flexibility for local variations and specialized applications. This coordination ensured that pilgrims could receive consistent quality of care regardless of which temple they visited, while also facilitating research and development of more effective methods for therapeutic dream work. The economic support for dream temples came from grateful pilgrims who had received successful healing, wealthy patrons who valued the spiritual services provided, and civic authorities who recognized the public health benefits of accessible divine healing. This financial foundation allowed the temples to maintain high standards of service while continuing research and development of improved techniques for facilitating therapeutic dream experiences. The cultural influence of dream temples extended far beyond their immediate healing functions to encompass broader impacts on medical knowledge, religious practice, and social attitudes toward the relationship between physical health and spiritual well-being. The success of temple healing created widespread acceptance of dreams as legitimate sources of medical information and therapeutic intervention, influencing the development of professional medical practice throughout the ancient world. The philosophical implications of successful dream healing challenged conventional understanding of the relationship between mind and body, consciousness, and physical reality, suggesting that mental and spiritual factors played crucial roles in health and illness that went beyond purely physical causation. These insights contributed to the development of holistic approaches to medicine that recognize the interconnected nature of psychological and physical well-being. The literary traditions that emerged from dream temple experiences included detailed accounts of miraculous healings, symbolic dream narratives, and theological discussions about the nature of divine intervention in human affairs. These texts provided inspiration for poets and storytellers, while also serving as instructional materials for future generations of dream interpreters and healing practitioners. The artistic representations inspired by dream temple activities included paintings, sculptures, and decorative arts that depicted healing dreams, divine visitations, and the symbolic imagery associated with therapeutic interventions. These artistic works served both decorative and educational functions, helping visitors understand the symbolic language of healing dreams while creating atmospheric conditions that enhanced receptivity to divine communication. The scientific observations conducted at dream temples contributed to early medical knowledge about sleep cycles, the relationship between mental states and physical health, and the environmental factors that influenced dream content and therapeutic outcomes. These empirical studies provided foundations for more systematic approaches to understanding consciousness and its role in health and healing. The social services provided by dream temples extended beyond individual healing to include community health initiatives, training programs for local healers, and public education about preventive health measures that could reduce the need for divine intervention. These broader services demonstrated the temple's commitment to promoting overall community well-being rather than simply responding to individual crises. The international reputation of major dream temples attracted pilgrims from throughout the Mediterranean world and beyond, creating cultural exchange opportunities that facilitated the spread of healing knowledge, religious practices, and philosophical ideas about the nature of consciousness and divine intervention. These cross-cultural interactions enriched the understanding of dream healing while adapting techniques to serve diverse populations with different cultural backgrounds and expectations. The seasonal festivals associated with dream temples created regular opportunities for community celebration, renewal of commitment to health-promoting practices, and public recognition of successful healing outcomes. These celebrations reinforced the social bonds that supported the temple system while providing inspiration and encouragement for those facing health challenges. The educational programs offered by dream temples included instruction in dream interpretation, basic medical knowledge, and spiritual practices that could enhance receptivity to divine guidance. These educational services helped train local practitioners who could provide ongoing support for temple graduates while extending the reach of healing knowledge into communities that might not have direct access to major temple facilities. The research initiatives conducted at advanced dream temples explored questions about consciousness, divine communication, and the mechanisms by which mental and spiritual factors influenced physical health. These investigations contributed to the development of more sophisticated understanding of human psychology and its relationship to overall well-being, laying foundations for future advances in both medical and spiritual knowledge. The preservation efforts undertaken by Dream Temple scholars ensured that valuable knowledge about healing techniques, dream interpretation, and therapeutic practices would be maintained for future generations through carefully maintained libraries and training programs. These preservation activities demonstrated long-term commitment to advancing human understanding of consciousness and healing that transcended immediate practical applications. The legacy of ancient dream temples continues to influence contemporary approaches to holistic healing, mind-body medicine, and the therapeutic use of altered states of consciousness in modern medical and psychological practice. The recognition that mental and spiritual factors play crucial roles in health and healing validates ancient insights about the interconnected nature of human well-being that were preserved through dream temple traditions. The integration of ancient wisdom with modern scientific understanding creates new possibilities for developing more effective approaches to healing that combine the best insights from traditional and contemporary sources. The continued relevance of Dream Temple principles demonstrates the enduring value of approaches that recognize consciousness as a fundamental factor in health and healing, rather than merely a byproduct of physical processes. The mystical arts that surrounded Morpheus extended into realms of human creativity that transformed entire civilizations through divine inspiration channeled during the vulnerable hours of sleep. Ancient sculptors would often report dreams where marble blocks revealed their hidden forms, showing exactly how each chisel strike should fall to release the perfect statue waiting within the stone. These artistic visions possessed such clarity and precision that master craftsmen could work for months following a single dream's guidance, creating masterpieces that seemed to breathe with life itself. The musical revelations that came through Morpheus reached composers who struggled with complex harmonies that their conscious minds could not resolve. During deep sleep, these artists would hear celestial orchestras performing pieces of impossible beauty with melodies that wove together in patterns that defied earthly understanding. Upon waking, they would rush to transcribe what fragments they could remember, often finding that even incomplete versions of these divine compositions could move audiences to tears and transform hearts with their supernatural power. Architects throughout the ancient world discovered building techniques and structural solutions through dreams that showed them monuments of breathtaking elegance and engineering perfection. These visionary blueprints revealed how to construct temples that would stand for millennia with proportions so harmonious that they seemed to sing when sunlight struck their columns at dawn. The mathematical relationships embedded within these dream-inspired designs reflected cosmic principles that connected earthly architecture to the fundamental geometries governing the movement of stars and planets. The agricultural innovations that emerged from Morpheus's guidance helped farming communities develop techniques for crop rotation, soil enhancement, and pest management that increased yields while maintaining the land's fertility for countless generations. Farmers would dream of fields arranged in specific patterns, with certain crops planted alongside others in combinations that created a natural pest deterrence and soil improvements. These dreams often included detailed seasonal calendars showing optimal planting times, coordinated with lunar phases and astronomical events. Weaving and textile arts flourished under the influence of dreams that revealed patterns of extraordinary complexity and beauty, with designs that told stories through their intricate geometries and color combinations. Master weavers would receive visions showing how different threads should be combined to create fabrics that seemed to shimmer with inner light, displaying images that change depending on the viewing angle and lighting conditions. These textiles became treasured possessions that families passed down through generations as tangible connections to divine inspiration. The culinary arts advanced through dreams that revealed new combinations of ingredients and cooking techniques that could transform simple meals into feasts worthy of divine banquets. Cooks would dream of herbs and spices arranged in specific proportions, with preparation methods that unlocked flavors previously unknown to mortal palates. These culinary revelations often included knowledge about the healing properties of various foods and their optimal combinations for promoting health and vitality. And so we reach the end of our journey through the eternal realm of Morpheus, the divine architect of dreams, whose influence continues to shape human consciousness across the millennia. From the primordial darkness of Nyx to the sophisticated dream temples of ancient civilizations, we have witnessed how this master of transformation has woven himself into the very fabric of human experience, touching every aspect of our spiritual, creative, and psychological development. May your own dreams tonight carry whispers of his ancient wisdom, guiding you toward the restorative peace that only true divine slumber can provide.
If you're still here at the end, thank you for spending this time with me under the night sky of Olympus. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe. More myths are coming, and leave a comment. Which god, hero, or legend should we journey through next?